Hello there, everybody. How are you today? Crazy. So 11 years of this. 11 years of making videos of mostly the Let's Play variety, but I dabble in other stuff too sometimes. So. But mostly it's a Let's Play channel, and it's been a very long time, and I was racking my brain trying to figure out what the best thing to do on this occasion was, and I figured, it's just been a really long time since I've given the old questions and answers type thing a go. Although, again, as I've previously established, it's called an Ask Me Anything nowadays, so, yeah, I guess that's what we're going to be calling this one, and oh boy, I have got so many questions to go through. You guys asked a lot, but I'm going to do what I can to give a satisfactory answer to just about dang near everything that was asked. Very, very, very few exceptions. Mostly because I'm fusing some of them together, because some of you asked the same thing, but in different words. So that's fun. So if I don't say exactly what it is you asked, it's just because I'm combining it with something else, so don't worry about that. But I guess before I do, I just want to thank you all for your consistent support and watching my silly nonsense videos, and all of this video is for you. Let's begin. Do you have any plans on checking out Persona 5 Royal? I currently do not. I have yet to see anything from any perspective about any of the new content that was added that personally interests me enough to go through that. It seems perfectly serviceable. Just some of the things they added don't really gel well with my personal tastes about certain things. If you've played it, and you know how, if you've played through it, you know what the things are, and if you watched my Let's Play, you know certain things that I think, and apparently Royal just doubles down on a certain aspect that I don't really feel is worth going through the entire game again just to see. So I currently do not have plans to do that now. Favorite LPs you played last year, which I guess would mean any games that I played over the course of 2022. Well, that would be any of these. Those are all the games that I played during that year. The most standout ones that come to mind immediately would be Katawa Shoujo, Final Fantasy VI, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. I mean, this has mostly been a year full of Patreon requests, and I've enjoyed a greater majority of them. But if you're telling me, which ones are my personal favorites right now, then I'd say those. But I don't think any of them are bad. Which is actually saying a lot. I feel like I've come a decent way when it comes to my commentary skills, and I make pretty decent videos these days. So I feel pretty good about all of them, but I'd say those are my favorite Let's Plays. You're not asking my favorite games of last year. You're asking me my favorite Let's Plays I made. I think those are some of the best. What are your favorite and least favorite games you've played on the channel? Well, that's a bit of a double-edged question now, isn't it? I mean, I feel like my favorite games that I've played on the channel are kind of obvious because they are my favorite games, but maybe we could spin that to mean, I don't know, games I've never played before that I now consider among my favorite games of all time. Then I mean, obviously, Persona 4 is amazing. Yakuza 0 has been that was phenomenal. Kiwami as well. Spider-Man, the Phoenix Wright series, man, a lot of games that I played for the first time on this channel have become some of my all-time favorites. So that's a lot. And my least favorite games I've played on the channel, I mean, I don't really feel a strong desire to discuss that because I'd rather not speak ill of any of the games I've played. Even the one that I felt like was a safe choice, it could probably still make somebody upset if I said it. So I'm probably just gonna not. And you know what? We need a sacrificial lamb so I can still say I answered the question. Shadow of the Colossus. Nah, not a fan. Just not a fan. It is not the kind of game that I am about. I will not be going further into details. This goes hand in hand with the next one, asking me if there are any games I outright regret playing for the channel. That's an interesting question, because it's like, I don't know. I feel like regretting playing a game on the channel doesn't really serve much of a purpose. I guess there have been a few that don't personally, I don't know. Maybe I have, like, I don't know, should I have played that? Should that be something that's permanently on the channel forever now? It doesn't mean I disliked the game or even disliked the Let's Play itself. I just wonder if it was advised because now they're, you know, permanently etched on the record books, and I'm just like, well, I mean, some of these things are not like the others. You know, they just seem odd when stacked up next to everything else I've played. I wouldn't say I regret playing them. I guess looking back, they seem kind of strange to have next to everything else, but they're there, and they're always going to be there, and I have come to terms with that fact. A lot of these Let's Play questions are about just straight up requests, but I don't mind. Hey, I'll answer anything. Okay, let's see. I know you might not know when you would Let's Play these, even if you do want to eventually, but thoughts on maybe Let's Playing Super Monkey Ball, God of War 2, or Conker's Bad Fur Day. Super Monkey Ball, those games seem kind of difficult for my abilities. They've always looked really neat and cool, and I know that there is a Monkey Ball game. I think it might be a remake of the first one, or a remake of a popular one, or something. And it's got like a bunch of guest characters. I think like straight up Kiryu from Yakuza is in there. I admit to being fascinated by it, and I would certainly not say no to it. I don't know when, if ever, but I'm not going to say I'll never do it. I just don't know when I would. God of War 2 is on the long list of sequels to games I've Let's Played that I really do need to get around to at some point, and I will at some point. Conker's Bad Fur Day, another. I have such a long list of games that I need to play. That's on it. So many games are on it, you guys. I'll get to it when the urge to suddenly play it just kind of comes to me, I suppose. Will you ever check out Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy or Marvel's Midnight Suns? Fun fact, I forgot both of those were even things. I'm gonna go ahead and say probably not. I'm not going to say... I have a hard time just flat out saying, no, I will never play this, or I'll never play that, stuff like that. But, right now, I certainly don't have any plans. You literally reminded me that they even exist, so that should probably tell you where they are on my radar right now. Have you ever considered playing a Xenoblade game for the channel? I have. They're just very long and time-consuming, and a few outside factors are currently making it slightly more difficult for me to consider it to be a good idea right now, but eventually, yes, that'll definitely happen. Is there anything that dictates what you Let's Play next, or is it just what you feel like playing? It's mostly just kind of freeform. Right now, obviously, the greater majority of games I've been playing lately have been the ones that I have been requested and paid to play, so obviously I've just kind of been doing those, but before all of that, and once it's all done, it's going to pretty much just be, I suddenly have the bizarre urge to play this, so I shall, and very little rhyme or reason. It's why continuations of series are so inconsistent, because I just need to feel like playing something at that moment in time, and I have very little control over when I'm going to feel like playing something. So, yeah, it's all just pure luck of the draw on what ends up happening. What are some series you want to play but haven't had the time to check out? That is a lot of things. Ever since I've really started Let's Playing, I don't really play anything for myself personally anymore. I don't have the time. And anytime that I do play a game, I'm just like, why am I playing this when I could be recording it? I could be making a Let's Play out of this, so why am I just sitting here playing it quietly? So really all of my time is dictated around making videos of said games, and there are lots of games and series that I'd like to play and finally get around to, but it's all a matter of time. Are there any games in your tenure that you'd want to replay like you did for Paper Mario? That's an interesting question, because the answer is yes. There are at least a few games that I would perhaps like to give another go of it, just for the sake of doing so, just because I feel like I could either improve upon them, or I could play a different version of the game, or I just really want to play the game again. There's a variety of factors for it. Currently, what is stopping me right now is, again, I have so many games I already need to play that going into a game that I've already played for the channel is kind of silly, a little. Also, when I did Let's Play Paper Mario, barely anybody watched it or cared that I did. So, kind of took a bit of a hit in the morale when it came to the idea of redoing anything. I'm not going to say that I won't, because again, there are some that I would like to do, but as for when I'll do them, no idea, man. Can we expect a Let's Play of Ultra Despair Girls? Yes, sadly. I'm not exactly too super keen and chomping at the bit to play what has been described to me as the single darkest and most messed up of all the Danganronpa games, which is saying a lot. But I guess I'm just kind of fated to play that series now. I don't really seem to get much of a choice in the matter. So, eventually. Are there any games you like but aren't willing to play on the channel? I don't think so. I do not believe that is a thing. I'm pretty sure if there's a game I like, I'll play it no matter what it is. I've long since given up on caring about view counts or anything of that sort, so even if it's a game that's unpopular or nobody's heard of and nobody cares about watching, I'll probably still play it anyway if I like it. I still have tons of games in my backlog of things that I've played before that mean a lot to me that I would like to play again. Again, it's all just a matter of time. Will we ever see more co-op Let's Plays? Yes. Yes, you will. Depending on circumstances, maybe sooner than you think? It's mostly down to my friends, honestly, and whether they have the time or interest to get involved. I don't really make it a point to force them into doing stuff like this, but if they ever want to, then they are more than welcome to join me for any number of games. There are a lot of games that I would like to play that require a second person, and it's all a matter of timing, scheduling, and interest from other parties. I really only have 2 people that I'm willing to do that with, because I need to have a very firm bond and connection with somebody if I'm going to let them be on my channel. So yeah, but it's totally possible, and I would love to do more. Have you ever had an LP you haven't felt ready/good enough for? Every single Let's Play I have ever made, but especially the ones for games that mean a lot to me, which are, you know, Ratchet and Clank games, Jak and Daxter games, Sly Cooper games, Legend of Dragoon. There is another one of my top 10 favorite games of all time that I have not played on the channel yet that I really want to, but I don't think I'm good enough for. But long story short, I don't think I'm good enough to represent any of the games I've played, ever, over the course of my entire career. I've never once thought, yeah, I'm ready, let's do this. No. I've always felt like I could definitely be better, and I should continue to wait to get better before I play them. But, I mean, it's been 11 years now, and I don't think I'm gonna get any better. So, I should really probably get over that and just start playing whatever. Which LP was the most surprisingly good / fun to you? I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a twofer. I was not expecting the Phoenix Wright series to be as phenomenal as it is. I played it solely just because it was I felt like doing it at the time, and I knew Phoenix Wright from Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it was just like, I knew he had a game, and I had it on the Wii when they, you know, the WiiWare channel and stuff, and I'm just like, sure, why not? Let's give it a go. And then I ended up freaking loving it, and I'm still playing those games to this day, and I still have so many more that I need to play. Good lord, I guess I've only played 3, technically 5. You count the Edgeworth games, I might as well. But you really wouldn't think a visual novel about being a lawyer would be awesome, but it is. And it's probably always going to be, and I will gladly play more. Aside from that, but still sticking with visual novels because I guess I have low expectations from them for some reason. Katawa Shoujo. That was a game I was petrified to actually play. I did not know if it was going to be something that I could do, but I mean, I got a lot of people saying that they really loved that Let's Play, and I really loved the game in question. So it was worth fighting through the awkward moments for, big time. So I'd say those are the games that probably surprised me the most. Generally, otherwise, I don't really play games that I don't think that I already know are going to be fun. That's usually the case. I mean, obviously, some games I like more than others, but yeah. I usually try to make sure that a game is something that I'm going to enjoy before I even play it. Oh, this is a fun one. Do you plan on playing the extra story that's in The World That Ends With You remake? I thought you would play it after you finished the main game, but didn't for some reason. Yeah, because I ran out of time. It was going to be time-consuming, and I needed to play a new game so I could get videos up, and then it got buried under a bunch of other stuff. All bonus content from any Let's Play that I ever said that I was going to do is still technically something I plan on doing, but I need a long stretch of time available to me in order to facilitate any of that. This bleeds into the next question. Yeah, wait, no, hang on, or is it? Oh, well, there is something about that, but it's like the further content in World Ends With You and Neptunia and Metopia. It's all stuff I want to do. It's all stuff I want to show, and I'll get around to it one day. But I guess I just kind of, I mean, I might as well just go to the next one here. I was surprised you played Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1. It was a game I was going to mention in my questions in your last Q&A AMA thing, but didn't think because I wasn't sure you'd like it. That's what as for the question, do you plan on going back to it for the secret character stuff? Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's answered. And don't want to say any more than to avoid spoilery stuff. And will you play Rebirth 2? I freaking loved Hyperdimension Neptunia, the first one. I will definitely play more of that franchise, unquestionably. Fire Emblem Engage will be out by the time you make this video. Will you Let's Play it? I know you said you'd like to play Awakening and Fates, and you co-Let's played the OG Shadow Dragon. So is it on the cards? Also, did you play 3 houses? And if so, what was your first house? I will absolutely play Engage at some point. Are you kidding me? I love Fire Emblem. That franchise is fantastic, and this new one has freaking Lyn in it. That's just a surefire way to immediately get me involved in anything. I mean, I have a fondness. So, the second they said, we're bringing back some old characters as ghosty things that make you super powerful, I'm like, oh. But yeah, no, all Fire Emblem games are totally going to, like, and I mean it, every one of them. Every single one is going to eventually be played. One of those sooner than later. Maybe even, I don't want to say because I don't know for certain when the timelines are going to align, but the point is, yeah, there will be that. Also, did I play 3 houses? Yes, I did. And what was my first house? It was the Black Eagle house. That was the one I went with first. I asked about the Pokemon Gen 8 fossils last time, but what do you think of Gen 9? In general? Because I haven't played it yet. I have not had the time. Very, very seldom am I able to play anything outside of that. of what I'm currently Let's Playing, like I said. I will gladly tell you what my feelings are on Gen 9 as a whole once I finally get around to it. Any chance of the Cuphead DLC being played? I don't currently have plans for it, but it's definitely in the pile of the never say never persuasion, essentially. And this also is also, when will you give Shovel Knight King of Cards a go? I forgot that that was a thing. I forgot that that was the final campaign they added to that with King Knight. I'm gonna go ahead and say at some point. I can't give hard numbers on when. What is your favorite Pokemon from Generation 9? I don't know. Dunsparce got an evolution, I heard, where it's just more Dunsparce. So I'm gonna go with that for now. If the next Super Smash Bros. Game were to be announced, who do you want to see become a playable character? If a new one is announced, it's not going to have Sakurai, and it's going to be a very different game, and it's going to have like a massively cut down roster, probably as like a complete and total refresh. So I feel like people have too high of expectations for that sort of thing. But I mean, obviously there are games I wish were in Smash Brothers. As angry as people would be for more Fire Emblem, I'd like to play as Lyn. I would also like Shantae. I'd like Kazuma Kiryu, even though I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be a thing because I heard that the creator doesn't let Kiryu in crossover fighting games because Kiryu doesn't fight women, and you know what? I can respect that. I can respect that. It's like, no, that would be out of character for him. Can't have that, but I would still like it. So, you know, Majima wouldn't care. Have him be in it. There you go. Lots of characters. You ever gonna play Nier Automata on the channel? I own it. It's one of the many games in my Steam library. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it ain't impossible. I guess if I ever feel the itch to play it. I've heard good things, and I know of 2B and the legend of her and her prettiness. So, I mean, it seems up my alley in that regard. But I also hear it's very cerebral, makes you think, very meta. So, it sounds like it's going to be a thing. But, it's totally possible. What was the first game system you ever owned? Well, the first one I ever played was the Super Nintendo, but the first game console that I owned that was for me and me alone that I had was the Nintendo 64. Favorite Pokemon, if any? Gliscor. Gliscor is by far my favorite. I'm also partial to Miss Magius, Gardevoir, Weezing, Muck, Mawile. I like Snorlax. Those are some of my favorites. A while ago, and when they say a while ago, they mean a very long time ago, you said you planned on playing every game from every series portrayed in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, but apart from Ratchet & Clank, it's been a while since you played any of them. Are you still planning on doing that? I am, yes. I just gotta get through them. Are there any game crossovers you'd like to see? Oh, I mean, plenty. The easiest one that I can immediately come up with is I want to see more games given the Dynasty Warriors treatment, because so far it's been phenomenal. Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors and, you know, Pirate Warriors, the One Piece one, and Dragon Quest Warriors. Ugh, I can never get enough of them. Just give me more of those constantly. Give me all of them. As for specific ones, you could give one to dang near any game series ever. I think, like, Danganronpa would make for a really interesting Warriors game, because you can't tell me the majority of those characters couldn't fight in some capacity. Have you fight with waves of Monokuma and stuff, it would be great. It just would. Do you hate Nagato or Akechi more? You might think that that would require more thought on my end, but no, because Nagato was a character you were supposed to disagree with and find to be kind of a jackass, whereas Akechi, the game expected you to forgive him for his incredibly flimsy reasons for being a psychopathic murderer. And I refused to do that. So, considering one game wanted me to dislike a character and the other one wanted me to like an awful character, not an awful character, but an awful person, that's a no-brainer. Akechi by far. Any plans to play Apollo Justice soon? Eventually, of course. I will play all of the Phoenix Wright games. Soon? What plot twist surprised you the most when you LP'd the game? Pretty much, I mean, the blanket answer is just the plot twist that you can find in Phoenix Wright and Danganronpa. You know, games that are actually designed to have plot twists. I mean, sometimes I can see some things coming, but other times, no. Nothing immediately comes to mind, but I'm sure they're out there, so I'm just gonna say, you know, check those particular franchises out, and I'm sure you'll find me get absolutely flabbergasted, probably. What's your guilty pleasure game? I don't personally feel guilt for enjoying any games. Pretty much everything you see is stuff I enjoy, and I'll be putting up even more stuff of other stuff I enjoy. I mean, the closest I can possibly think of would, I don't know, the humongous entertainment games, like, you know, the Putt Putt and Pajama Sam and Spy Fox, but, like, because, you know, those are games that are designed for, like, your, you know, very small children, but I still think they hold up, and I want to Let's Play the hell out of all of those at some point, so I don't feel guilty about playing them, but I guess that's as close as it's gonna get. Are there any video game enemies or monsters you would love to have as a pet/friend? I like the /friend. That opens things up a bit more. I would love to be friends with a Dragon Quest slime or a Goomba, because those are by far some of my favorite creatures in any video game, and we've seen them be capable of full-on thought and communication and personality, so I'd be more than happy to have that in my life, I'll tell you that. Have you ever thought about playing roguelike games on the channel? Not asking for it, just asking about it. Interesting way to phrase that. Have I not played any roguelike games? I guess I don't really know what a roguelike game would be specifically. I mean, I played like Mark of the Ninja and Dishonored, and those were stealth games. But roguelike, I'm not sure I know specifically what that is. If I haven't played one before, I'd wager the odds of me playing one eventually are pretty high. When can we expect the Let's Play of Mario plus Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure? I've been looking forward to that one. You have? That's fantastic. That's something I've been meaning to do forever and a half ago, and I just haven't gotten to it. And now that I actually own, I've waited so long that a whole ass sequel came out, and I want to Let's Play this. I should really probably get around to doing that Donkey Kong Adventure before I can finally get to this. So, maybe sometime soon. Is there any hero of games, movies, or comics that really speak to you as a content creator? Are you asking, like, as a hero of these things, are you saying, like, real-life inspirations of those things? Or the actual characters within? 'Cause, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are. I mean, I'm inspired by tons of fictional characters, and there are obviously some, like, actual living people that that speak to me as a content creator, too. Nothing immediately comes to mind. I'm afraid I don't entirely understand the question. So I guess, like, I don't know, like, heroes I find inspiring are Phoenix Wright or you know, Ratchet and Clank. Real people I look up to that work on stuff. You know, pretty much any of the names that are associated with Nintendo. The people of Insomniac Games, or just really any of the studios that that make games I like, really. Specific names aren't immediately coming to mind, but they're there. Hopefully that's a good enough answer. Sorry. Is there any chance you might play more Metroidvania games like Hollow Knight or Symphony of the Night? Symphony of the Night is a hard more than most likely, because I do need to get around to playing more Castlevania games, because I played the first one, so I need to get around to playing other ones. Hollow Knight is a game I hear a lot about. I have no current plans to play it, but as I've said many times in the past, it could totally happen again. Almost any game can possibly happen. Who's all your favorite characters from the Persona games you've played so far? Naoto, Kanji, Chie, Igus, Ikari. Yeah. You and your only mate should do fun co-op game playthroughs. That's up to him. I'd be happy to bring him along for certain things if he wanted to be, but as I said before, I'm not interested in forcing people to make videos with me if it's something that they don't want to do. Did you ever play Mass Effect? Are you asking if I've ever Let's Played it or if I've ever played it in general? Because the answer is actually hilariously yes to both. I have played it, and way back year 1, maybe year 2 of my Let's Playing career, I started a Mass Effect Let's Play, but due to technical difficulties, I had to cancel it, and it's since been taken down. I've always meant to redo it and actually finish it, so that's certainly something that could happen someday. How do you prioritize games when there are some that have a ton of sequels, like the Yakuza games or Ace Attorneys? Do you think it would be a good idea to get them out of the way or play them in quick succession? I have no prioritization skills whatsoever. Like I keep saying, I play things off the cuff whenever I feel like it, and that's why some games have been waiting almost 10 entire years to get another entry into. One day I'll get around to playing Gen 2 of Pokemon. One day. I think it may have even... is it possible that that's already been a decade since I've played Leaf Green? Oh no. That's not good. Considering how Persona Q went, can we expect more 3DS games? Yes, plenty. Will there ever be a second coming of Sequelocalypse? Absolutely. I currently have one in the plans already. Give me your top 8 favorite Sonic characters. That's gonna be tricky, because I don't really have any. Sonic isn't really a series I spend a lot of time thinking about. Knuckles is cool. Rouge the Bat. Big the Cat. Eggman. Sorry. I don't have a lot of opinions. Would you be down for a new Sonic fighting game? Down in the sense of, do I give it permission to exist? Sure. Would it be something that I would spend a lot of time thinking about or having strong interest in? No. Not really. But, I imagine that would make a lot of other people happy. What is going to be your next Let's Play after Yakuza? Hilariously, I have already finished Yakuza. They asked this a while ago. Well, currently Celeste is going up on the channel right now. It's possible that by the time that this is going up, Oddworld should be started at least. As for what comes after that, you'll find out. If you could pick 5 games to play for the rest of your life, what would they be and why? Probably really long JRPGs, because that gives me a lot of stuff to go through. Oh, actually, here's a good idea. Okay, 5 games. Trying without thinking about it that hard. I'm gonna say Persona 4 Golden, Legend of Dragoon, Hyrule Warriors, Dragon Quest. I love 8 a lot, but I'm gonna go with 11 because it has more content, and that is definitely games with tons of content. Legend of Dragoon isn't the longest game in the universe, but I just want to be able to still play it whenever I want. And I don't know, another Warriors game. Pirate Warriors, subject to change, but there you go. What was the weirdest game you've ever played? It's really hard to not look at it objectively and call anything other than the Parappa franchise to be the weirdest things I've ever played. Weird in a good way, obviously, but still. Do you have any favorite game soundtracks or songs? Yeah, plenty. I love the soundtracks to pretty much damn near almost all games, but I guess soundtracks that I listen to consistently. I have the entire Legend of Dragoon Legend of Dragoon soundtrack in my music playlist. I have bits and pieces from all sorts of games. I have lots of Persona music. I have lots of Ratchet and Clank and some Sly Cooper and Jak and Daxter games that play. Tons of Mario music. Stuff like that, basically. The Chrono Trigger soundtrack, I got a lot of that. So, things like that. Do you ever feel overwhelmed at the sheer amount of games that have been requested / are available to play every single day of my life? What game series do you consider to be underrated? I feel like Dragon Quest should be an even bigger deal in America than it is, which is to say, kind of niche in America. Like, it's a huge-ass deal in Japan, and it should be a huge-ass deal in America, too. That's what I think. What's your most wanted game you want to see ported to the Switch? Currently, it is Tamagotchi Life. I want that game to get polished up, I want new content added to it, and I want to make a Let's Play out of it real bad. So, gimme! What series would you never Let's Play on the channel, no matter what? Really the only hard, definitive, never, no way, nuh-uh, not ever gonna happen, I guess, would just be anything pornographic. Yeah, I suppose technically Katawa Shoujo had some of that in there, but it's not, that wasn't its selling point, and it's just part of the plot. So that's no more pornographic than anything that has a scene of that nature in it that doesn't show that much, really. So that's really it. I mean, there are franchises and games that I know that exist that I personally would really just rather not go near, but I'm not going to say what they are, but, you know, they're there. Have you ever played One Shot? I highly recommend it. I've never heard of it. I will Google it when I am done. If you had the ability to make a crossover of 2 games, what would they be? It would be so fantastic to get a real, proper crossover of Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter. I would love that so much. They have crossed over on a couple of occasions, but in minigame and fighting games, and those don't count. I want the 2 worlds to properly merge together for a bit, and I want them to work together. It would work seamlessly. Odds of it happening are basically 0% at this point because Naughty Dog don't make fun things anymore, but I don't know. Maybe they'll let some other company play around with their properties that they have no interest in touching anymore. They tossed Crash Bandicoot to the side, and hey, well, he's finally getting some good stuff, so maybe. Oh, this is a fun one. Something I'm curious of is how you are doing your Let's Plays nowadays. I remember in the past you used to do it when you would record the whole Let's Play and then upload it, but with Yakuza, for example, you seem to be doing it in chunks as you respond to feedback. Is it just depending on the game, or if you change your recording method to doing a session, uploading, and doing more later? It is merely it's merely the fact that I have terrible time management abilities, and I have lost my buffer, and I refuse to go without uploading an episode of something every single day. So eventually, by filling my time up with so much stuff, or a certain game will take a longer period of time to record, or I only have so much time in the day to record, so sometimes I can only get 1 or 2 episodes recorded in a day. And eventually, I'll either be really tired and need to take a rest, or a friend would want to spend time with me and I can't record that day, and eventually the buffer of videos I have shrinks and shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, and it's reached the point where I barely have any at all, and I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I'm currently trying to work in the background to facilitate having a gargantuan buffer. I want to be able to have, like, several months worth of videos ready to upload, like at least 3 or 4 entire games done completely, They have their thumbnails made, they're all edited and rendered and ready for upload, and I want that. I want that so bad, and I'm working towards it, and I'm getting close. I almost have 2 moderately decent, like 30-plus episode-long games almost completely finished. And I want to continue to add to that as much as possible, and I want to keep it that way. So I have not deliberately changed my way of going about things. I had no choice, but I'm hoping to go back to the way of having whole games finished before posting them. Would you consider playing Fire Emblem Three Houses? Yes. And if you did, would you only go one route or do several? I would do all of them. Given your well-documented love for Ace Attorney, is there any chance that you'll check out the Professor Layton series? If so, would you play the games in story order, release order, or start with Professor Layton cross Phoenix Wright? I do want to play the Professor Layton games because I want to play Professor Layton cross Phoenix Wright, and it's only too good and proper that I become acclimated with the professor before I do that. I just have to get around to it, and I would play them in release order unless somebody tells me I really should do it in a different order. So I'll get some. I'm getting all blurry. Why am I so blurry? I'll get some advice on that, and I will figure out the best course of action. But Professor Layton is definitely something that'll happen eventually. What's something that you want to like and can see yourself potentially liking, but just can't for whatever reason? This can be a series, a character, or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of a cop-out answer, but honestly, if it seems like I'm going to like something, I usually always do. And if I don't, I just don't. So I don't think I've ever run into a situation where it's like, oh, I think I'm going to really love this, and then I start getting into it, and then I'm like, oh, actually, I don't like that at all. Nothing really comes to mind when it comes to that, so kind of a lame answer, but yeah, sorry. What are some IPs you'd bring out of retirement? What are some IPs you'd bring out of retirement if you had the ability? Jack and Daxter and Sly Cooper and Banjo-Kazooie and pretty much all the games that I love that haven't had new games in forever. Legend of Dragoon and Vandal Hearts and Mischief Makers and Snowboard Kids and so many things. What would you want to see in a Mario Kart 10? I want to see Mario, and I want to see some go-karts, and I want to see them go heckin' fast. And it would be cool if I could play as Professor Egad and Pauline. That'd be cool. Really, just make sure I'll always have Daisy, and I'll always be there. Best starter from each Pokemon generation. Ooh, you're asking for some controversial takes now, aren't you? The obvious and very clearly definitive and no room for debate answer to that is Squirtle, Cyndaquil, Treecko, Turtwig, Snivy, Fennekin, Poplio, Gen 8's hard. We'll go with Sobble and Quaxley. There you go. I've solved the eternal riddle. You're welcome. With the 3DS and Wii U eShops going down, any hidden gems you'd recommend? No. I never went through those things. Ever, really. Sorry. That's a really, really disappointing answer, but no, I don't have any. I'm sorry. Given your love of Persona, do you have any plans of checking out mainline Shin Megami Tensei anytime soon? No. I don't think it's impossible that I'll ever do it, but I don't have any immediate plans. When will you get to play God of War 2 or the next Shantae game? When I feel like it. If you had more time to do them, would you do more skits or funny short videos? If I had the time, I would put one up at least weekly. I'd have them be longer and more involved, and I would love to do more of them. Maybe if I can get that buffer up and running, I'll have more free time to do stuff like that. But yeah, there are lots of stuff I'd like to do. Just funny nonsense videos, video essays, scripted content, all that business. Lots of stuff I'd love to do, but No time. A while ago, you brought up the idea of playing Metal Gear Rising Revengeance for the channel. Given the recent rumors of a sequel or a remake, would you consider going through with that idea? Absolutely. I really want to play Revengeance. There is a very annoying thing stopping me from being able to do that, but man, I want to so bad. I enjoyed your Danganronpa 2 Let's Play, thank you. And what would you say is one thing you liked and or did not like about it compared to the first game? How did you, okay, that's the next one. Okay, things I liked about DR2 over the first one, and things I didn't like over, or things I liked over the first one over the second one. Well, the second game had a Kane in it. That was a really good idea, and I'm surprised it took them that long in the franchise to finally introduce her. So that's obviously a huge step up for the franchise. What I might like over 1 over 2 is the fact that 1 has Hina in it, and she wasn't in the second one. Bit of a misstep, if you ask me. How do you get good at gameplay commentary? Once I find out, I'll be sure to let you know. As for a real answer, just keep doing it, man. Like, even if you hardcore suck at it, just keep doing it over and over and over and over again. Always accept the fact that never reach a point where you feel like you can't get better. Always feel like you can improve on yourself. And as long as you have that, mentality of you can always get better, you should always be getting better, at least a little bit every day. Just, it's a very basic advice, but just do it constantly. Any scripted content in the works? Yes, but progress is slow. Would you ever try... This is very botchedly written. Would you ever... Okay, it's asking if I'd ever play something called Rogue Galaxy. I have not heard of it. I will look it up later. Sorry. Who do you main in Smash Brothers Ultimate? I haven't played Smash Ultimate in like 2 years. But when I did, I played as Lucina and Wario and Banjo-Kazooie. I'd like to play Mythra. I like Mythra. Will you Let's Play any Sonic games? I currently have no plans to do so, but everything is always, maybe. Will you Let's Play PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale? Yes, I will, once I actually have every single character represented on my channel. Yeah. That's all of the Let's Play questions, or questions about video games specifically. I sectioned all of these off into different categories. So next one is anime, comic, and show questions. Who is your all-time favorite superhero from either Marvel or DC? Oh, well, specifically from Marvel and or DC. I like Power Girl. When she's well written. A lot of writers have a hard time making her work. I also enjoy Deadpool. Again, when writers, use him properly. That's a problem with comic books. Like, a character can go from being like the single greatest character ever to like unbelievably obnoxious or massively out of character at the drop of a hat just because of a writer change. I've always had issues with comic books. But whenever they show up in literally anything other than comics books, they're always great. So, there you go. One for Marvel and for DC. Have you ever seen Magic Knight Ray Earth? And if not, I feel like you would enjoy it. Hold on to that dream. Tomorrow knows where and when. It's true what you believe. Don't let go, the road will never end. The sunset melts into the deep blue sea. It turns a crimson shade, a wonderful free fall. I just want to have the wind take me far away. I've faced impossible hurdles before, but I know that there's more, and I know I can make it. Who's to blame when it's not the best that I can achieve? Hold on to that dream. Tomorrow knows where and when. It's true what you believe. Don't let go. The road will never end. Keep trying to believe the biggest part of you. And now you're ready to go. So yeah, I may have heard of it. May have seen some of it, maybe. You know, hypothetically, Umi might be best girl. But, you know, maybe. I don't know. What's your favorite anime? I have a lot of anime I enjoy. I'd say probably, blanket termed, I would probably go with One Piece. But other anime like Slayers and Magic Knight Rayearth are massively high contenders. Like, whew! I only got properly introduced to both of them pretty recently, but they are definitely already in the top 5. Easy. What's your favorite One Piece character not named Nico Robin? Miss All Sunday. Very underrated character. I'm surprised we don't see her more often. I also like Usopp. Who is your favorite male character in fiction? Ooh, dudes. Interesting. Probably gonna have to go off the top of my head. Probably gonna have to... I think it might be a battle between Kiryu and Phoenix Wright at this point. They're both intensely solid. Are you excited for the new animated Mario movie? No, I'm not. I feel like they should have kept the video game voice actors. And I'm just not a fan of movies in general. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be total ass. I have no idea, but excited? No. If Ruby were to have a crossover with a Nintendo IP, what IP would it be to you? Well, I mean, there are two possible answers to that. There's the thematic, and there's the outlandish. Because, like, Ruby crossing over with something like Kirby wouldn't really make any sense at all. But, I mean, I kind of want to see it anyway. But, I mean, as far as a crossover, I mean, a Ruby game made by Intelligent Systems in the style of Fire Emblem would be freaking amazing. So, let's have those be my answers. Do you think Ruby is becoming overhated? Becoming? Are you kidding me? The anime has had the most bizarrely intense obsession with despising that franchise for so long, since, like, the second season. I don't know what the hell is up with people. Just stop watching it. Let people enjoy stuff. Go away if you don't like it. I don't care about your... Go away. Let me enjoy the show. Ugh. Have you accepted you have a Weiss problem yet? It's only a problem when they stop making new merch. What is your favorite Doofenshmirtz-anator? Ooh, that's delightful. Thank you for asking that. I'm gonna go with the Thinkin' Man's answer and go with the Waffleinator, which is essentially nothing more than a Gatling gun that creates and launches a never-ending supply of waffles. Now, you might think that, considering the incredibly outlandishly insane things that Doofenshmirtz has done over the many inventions in his life, that's rather mundane and blasé, but hey man, he defeated several Marvel supervillains with that thing, and unlimited waffles. So, you can't argue with results, people. If you could have a devil fruit power, what would it be? Those are from One Piece, if you don't know. The fruit that gave you superpowers. Quite frankly, I'd like to have ice powers. Just straight up. If I could, like, you know, like Luffy is a rubber man. I'd be cool with being an ice man. That'd be cool. And not the kind that flies a plane. No. The one who could actually turn into and control ice and cold. That'd be so good. I'd love that. If I could have a character's power in from like that, like a specific character's like more hyper-specific ability. Robin's flower powers are surprisingly amazing. You might not think that it would make a lot of sense. Like, why would you want the ability to just kind of generate your body parts over any surface? But I mean, like, hey, if I wanted to, like, close the door or flip a light switch, I could just have an arm spawn over there and just do it. That's just convenient. Who's that Pokemon? It's Jigglypuff, seen from above. What does Pot of Greed do? I think it lets you draw 2 cards. I don't remember the meme, and I'm not super knowledgeable on Yu-Gi-Oh! So, nice attempt at a meme question, but I can't give you an answer on that one. Ever watched or played any Dungeons & Dragons, TTRPG? I don't know what a TTRPG is, or role-playing in general. In order to play games like that, you need a large group of friends that you are comfortable with, and I have a grand total of 2 friends, and neither of them play role-playing games like that, so no. Have I watched any? Yeah, I've watched some. They're alright. Could be fun, but I don't see myself ever having a situation where I'll be able to do it. Do you read manga? If so, what's your favorite manga? I own a grand total of 1 manga, and that is my Dress Up Darling. I want to collect the whole series eventually. I only have volume 1 right now, but I'm gonna get all of them eventually because it is a truly beautiful and well drawn and well written and beautiful story, and I want more of it in my life. As far as other manga that I am currently reading, I am also reading Uzaki-chan likes to hang out or wants to hang out. Hitomi-chan is shy in front of strangers. And I just got done reading Tomo-chan is a Girl. I really like romantic comedy manga and anime. I'm not sure how surprising that would be to people, but if you were thinking I was all about the shonen or something, I'd much rather have a nice romantic comedy. I like cute things. It's not a crime. Favorite anime voice actor? Oh, there are so many good ones, though. I'll give you a favorite male and female anime voice actor, just so I can cover more bases. I'll go with Christopher Sabat for male and Wendy Lee for female. If I had to pick one over the other, I would guess I would go with Wendy Lee. Damn. It's impossible, man. If I could ever hire her, God, that would be amazing. But that's besides the point. Those are who I'd go with. Oh God, there is a lot to this one, and a lot of all caps. Okay, do you ever plan on watching Demon Slayer? No. Invincible? No. The Boys? God, no. Predator movies? I do not. James Bond movies? No. John Wick movies? I have no interest in those. SpongeBob SquarePants? I'm a dude on the internet. You think I haven't seen SpongeBob already? Friday the 13th movies? No. Halloween movies? No. Don't like horror. Don't like slashers. They freak me out. Don't like them. Lord of the Rings movies? No. And Black Clover, now that they've been in Death Battle? No. I have no, I have, with the exception of SpongeBob, which I've already seen, I have no interest in watching any of those. That's probably not the answer you want. Sorry. What was the first anime you ever watched? More than most likely, that was probably Pokemon. It's the first one that at least comes to mind in my memory. After that, it was probably Dragon Ball Z. But I feel good about Pokemon. Thoughts on Ash Ketchum leaving the anime? The Pokemon anime. I think it is honestly a long time coming. I feel like they've done everything they possibly could with the character, and I was one of the very first people to think that the end of that last arc was going to be his last. Everyone was all like, they've had Ash there for 20 years. They're not going to get rid of him now. They literally had him defeat like 6 Pokemon champions back-to-back in a big-ass tournament. And he was crowned like the Grand Poobah Wizard Man of all Pokemon battles. What the hell else is there to do with the guy after that? So, yeah, no, I obviously have a lot of fondness for the character, but, frankly, I would have been fine with him, with the original plan of him having been retired after the Orange Islands, and them having gone with Ethan as their new protagonist at the start of Johto, but, no, they finally got around to it. He had a fantastic run, and, It was a great character, and ain't nobody ever gonna forget that. And he and Pikachu are probably going to be considered the main characters of the anime 30 years from now. Yeah, because he's just that damn iconic. So, you know, it doesn't have to worry about that. Are there any anime that you find are underrated and deserve more attention? Pretty much any anime that only ever got to have a single season because of a lack of people knowing about its existence. Interview with Monster Girls was a really wholesome manga and anime. Only got a single season. My Monster's Secret was also fantastic, but that didn't get another one. Like, damn, man. It is hard being a romantic comedy guy with anime, because they do not let those things breathe. It's like, yep, you get one season, so fit it in as much as you possibly can, because, God, you ain't getting a second season, and if they do get a second season, it is a miracle. Dress Up Darling is getting one, but that's only because it managed to catch fire, so that's good. And Uzuki-chan was able to get a second season due to an extraordinarily stupid controversy that made absolutely no sense, but hey, if people want to whine and complain and make a series trend for that reason alone, and therefore give me more of what I want, then I'm okay with that. Who's your favorite love-to-hate type character, if any? If none, favorite villain in general would be fine. I don't love to hate characters. I hate characters who I hate. I've always found it incredibly bizarre that there are people who can, like, oh, I hate that character, he's the best, yay! What? No, that's never made any sense to me. If I hate characters, I hate them, and I don't want to see them because I hate them. Even if you're supposed to hate them, I still hate them. I don't like them because I hate them. It's like, oh, everybody loves a villain. No, I don't love a villain. I like heroes. The only ones that are an exception to that are, like, favorite villains are, like, villains who are still, like, entertaining, at least. Like, I like Dr. Nefarious from Ratchet & Clank, or, you know, stuff like Team Rocket. You know, the ones that'll make you laugh the whole time and are, like, yeah, sure, they're doing bad stuff, but they're probably never going to really accomplish much in the grand scheme of things, so whatever. Stuff like that. What was the funniest YouTube video you remember watching? I don't know, this.
I saw a guy do this in a toothpaste ad once. Ta-da!
If that doesn't count, then this. And that's all the anime, comic, and show questions. We're moving on to art questions. There aren't a lot. People don't have a lot to ask me about when it comes to this sort of thing, but I'm glad that there are any. Are you still working on your dream cartoon, Electric Tranquility? I absolutely am. I still want to make it a thing, and progress is slow as all hell, but God damn, man, something's gonna happen one day, I swear is it. What's your favorite art program to work with? Favorite is an interesting way to phrase it, because it's not so much like favorite as much as it is just the one that I use, which all of my drawing is done in Clip Studio Paint. I used to use Macromedia Flash MX, which is an art program released in like 2002, but I finally upgraded, and I feel like it's ultimately helped me improve over time. There was a bit of a massive nosedive in quality when I first moved over to using a pen and tablet over using a mouse in Macromedia, but I think I've since not only caught up to where I was before, but have since exceeded it, so feel good about that. What made you get into art? Just loving cartoons and video games, really. I grew up watching a lot of shows, cartoons that I really super loved, and I wanted to make my own. As simple as that, really. How long ago did you come up with Kate and Ryan as characters? Alright, that would have been my freshman year of high school, which would have been... Oh my god, 16 years ago? Ah, why'd you have to make me realize that? Oh, God. Yeah. No, I came up with them when I was 14, and I'm almost 30 now. What the heck? I'm mad you asked me that. Of all your OCs, who do you enjoy drawing/writing for the most? It's not... it's probably not a major shock that I am drawn to... If I can get away with drawing cute girl characters, I almost always will. I feel more motivated to draw stuff like that because I guess I just like drawing adorable things, and yeah. But Kate is easily the character that I have the most fun drawing, and I have to constantly put myself on the back burner on that. It's like, okay, draw your other characters. You have other ones. You gotta give them attention too. That's something that happens fairly often. Knuckles and Tails versus Kate and Ryan. Who would win? Well, I mean, if we're working off of official media, there isn't really much to work with Kate and Ryan, though, is there? If the entire idea inside my brain was outside of my brain and a viewable cartoon series that you could watch, and you could see all of the things that the characters are capable of, I personally believe that Kate and Ryan would win. I know that just sounds like pure bias, but I'm relatively certain that the things that they can do would outpace what Knuckles and Tails could do. Also, it's important to note that there would definitely, just out the gate, I can tell you right here and right now, right out the gate, there's already a sizable teamwork and camaraderie advantage to Kate and Ryan. Knuckles and Tails don't team up that often, especially not with Sonic. You know, without Sonic there. I feel like they would have some adjusting to do, and they'd probably bump into each other a little more often than they would. They'd get the hang of it, but I mean, like, in time to be able to win, I have my doubts. Anyway, that is all of the art questions. Wish there were more, but that's fine. Hopefully those were satisfactory. Now it's time for the second biggest chunk of questions that I was asked, and that is questions about Death Battle. Let's go. What is your least favorite Death Battle episode of Season 9? Omni-Man vs. Homelander. I don't like the series they came from, and I thought the episode was too short. The analyses were bizarrely structured and missing large chunks of things because they chose to not spoil things that happen later in the series, even though with other episodes, they're more than willing to spoil constantly. Like, even in the same season, they did episodes where they just spoiled things haphazardly, but that one they decided they couldn't spoil. I don't get that. Anyway, that one by far. What characters do you really hate and want to see die in Death Battle? I don't want to be the kind of person that does that. I don't like spite matches. I'd rather just not have characters I like be in it at all. I don't root for a character that I am not a fan of to be on the show just to see them lose, because that can also just totally backfire on you anyway, and you could end up having a character you don't like beating a character you do like, so why invite that kind of bad juju karma on yourself? I certainly wouldn't. Power Ranger characters you want to see in Death Battle. I don't know anything about Power Rangers. The only things I know about Power Rangers come from History of Power Ranger videos by Linkara. I don't know. Rita Repulsa? It's weird I'm being asked that. Did I ever give the impression that I know a lot about Power Rangers? Thoughts on Hiei versus Sasuke Death Battle? It's one of my favorites. Death Battles you want to see? Any of these? All of these right here. Special deep, especially out of the ones listed here. Like, if I made a season of Death Battle, this is the one that I would make. It would do terribly. It would get horrible views, but I would do it anyway. But out of these, primarily, Ruby versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Marth versus Aragorn, Gruntilda versus Magica Dispel, Tronbon versus Diva, Shantae versus Philia, Teddy versus Monokuma, Dr. Nefarious versus General Grievous, Jessica Albert versus Naga the Serpent, and Freddy Krueger versus Princess Luna are the ones out of these that I want the most out of them. All of them are damn unlikely. What so far has been your favorite season of Death Battle? Either 3 or 5. I know 3 isn't a very popular one, but it has, like... It had Zorro versus Urza, and Ratchet and Clank versus Jak and Daxter, and Tracer versus Scout Net, and those are all some of my favorites, so... Either that or Season 5. Because, again, it has, like, 3 of my favorites in it. It's roughly thereabouts. This one is funny because it spells a character's name wrong. Which one do you prefer host/character-wise, Wiz or Boomers? Wizard. Are there any franchises which have not been used yet that you would like to see get on Death Battle? Any of the ones that I just showed on all of those, on that big thing that I just showed you. All of those. If a series hasn't been represented yet, one of them. How come you never did a reaction to the very first Pokemon versus Digimon Death Battle? In one of your earliest videos, you said you wanted to see that kind of matchup happen. You'd kind of have to go back a good many years and ask me then. My best guess is that I watched it and I thought it was honestly probably one of the more morbid and mean-spirited episodes. And I mean, I know right now that I certainly don't enjoy it as an episode, so that's my best guess as to why I didn't back then. There could have been a different question, a different reason for it, but I wouldn't remember. If you could give a soundtrack to any old Death Battle, Balrog versus TJ in most episodes before that, well, which would you pick and what would you call that track? I want so badly, I want an actual Ratchet and Clank versus Jak and Daxter song, because it still bugs me to this day that they use the exact same Tekken soundtrack as they did for Ken versus Terry. It bothers me so much. As for a name, I'm terrible at names. Something that has to do with badass friends with guns. Something about that. I don't know. But something sci-fi or sci-fi meets fantasy. The forces of science and nature. I like that. Focus on the science versus nature aspect of it. There's something there. I can't think of something. I'm not clever enough, but there's something there. Who would win in a fight between Tifa and Jade? No materia, just martial arts. Okay, so when you say Jade... There are a lot of characters named Jade. I'm gonna guess you're gonna go... I'm guessing you're going with the Dragon Quest XI Jade, in which case, I mean, the fact that you yourself literally had to nerf Tifa and said she doesn't get any materia, makes me believe you already know the answer to that. Tifa can survive a supernova to the face. I love Jade, but she can't do that. Would you be interested in following any other Versus shows? I've tried, and I do not like them. I could name names, but I don't want to be that guy, so I'm not going to, but chances are, if there is a Versus show out there, I have seen it, and I do not care for it for one reason or another. Aside from the generally poorly aged aspects of early Death Battle seasons, of which there are numerous, what Death Battle episode have you changed your opinion on the most over time? I.e., you used to like it, but now don't, or vice versa. You just don't love it as much, or went from decent to a new favorite. I'm gonna go with Peach versus Zelda, because when it first came out, and for a while after, I thought it was a perfectly okay episode. Nothing fantastic. But over time, I've actually turned very sour on it, and I consider it one of the single worst episodes of the series because of how unrelentingly horrible they are to Peach and Zelda as characters. They treat them horribly and say deeply messed up things about both, and I very much hate it. Don't ever want to see that one again. And the final Death Battle question. Okay. What happened to Let's Watch Death Battle? Okay. Just over 2 years ago now, I was obviously let go from the show. If you didn't know, I worked for them. I worked on the show. I was a researcher. And I worked on the show from seasons 2 up to the start of season 7. And Okay, how do I go about this? So, I considered my time on Death Battle to be very important to me on a personal level. It mattered a lot to me because over the course of my life, I've never had a lot of confidence in myself or the things that I can do. I don't think I'm good at a lot. I don't think I can do much. Um, I just don't consider myself to be a very talented or interesting person. So the fact that I somehow, I have my theories, but somehow ended up actually straight up working on the show, it was a real confidence booster for me. I felt like I finally had a place where my extraordinarily niche talents and interests would actually be useful to somebody. And it meant a lot. I felt like I was contributing to something really super awesome, and that I was able to, in my sadder moments, when I thought that there was nothing good about me, I could look to the fact that I was working on that show, and I could say, hold up, stop being so down on yourself. I mean, hey, you work on Death Battle. That's freaking awesome. You gotta be doing something right. So I ended up tying a lot of my self-worth to my work on the show. And I considered myself to be at least pretty good at it, honestly. But I was deluding myself. I was... Okay. When I was working there originally, I was unpaid. It was a voluntary thing. It was just contribute where you want to contribute, send in what you want to send in. Don't stress over anything. It's all cool. And that's the way it was for a long time. But for 1 year, I was officially hired by the show, and I was paid for my work, and that went very well, went just fine. And it was 1 year, I believe, just straight up 1 year after that, when my contract ran out, that they just decided to not renew it, and they let me go. And I remember that moment very vividly, because I remember it with like the same level of gravitas as being informed of a family member passing away. I was sitting at my computer, and I was actually playing Smite with Your Only Mate, and a little thing popped up, got something from the higher ups, and I was like, oh, I gotta read this. So I did, and it was telling me that I was let go, that my contract would not be renewed, and that was it. I tried logging into the places where you log into when you work on that show, and I was locked out of everything. It was already like immediate. Like, it went from everything was cool and fine, and I thought everything was cool, and to just straight up bye immediately. And I had to excuse myself from the game. I didn't tell Your Only Mate about this at the time, because I was I barely registered it myself at the time. So I excused myself, and I said goodbye to him. I turned the game off, and I lied down in my bed, and I cried for a really long time. Because, and you can go ahead and consider it pathetic if you want. That's fine. I ain't gonna disparage you about that. But because the self-delusion that I had put on myself at that time had been dispelled immediately. I had somehow managed to convince myself that I was actually good at my job when I wasn't. And when I was told that I was no longer on the show anymore, instantaneously, all of my worst insecurities about myself were basically just proven true. I had no business working on the show. And this isn't even me being mean to myself right now. I straight up didn't. I need to make this very clear. I'm not upset with the show or anybody who works on the show. They made the right call. I'm not good at math. I couldn't do the equations that are required for that sort of thing. I'm a terrible debater. And I'm not a very sociable person. And if you can't do any of those things, what are you doing on the show? That doesn't make any sense. They were paying me for that, for my substandard work. No. Cutting me loose was absolutely the best business decision. So I'm not upset at them for doing it. They just wanted what was best for the show, and that was obviously what was best for the show. But regardless of that fact, basically the small house of cards that I had built myself out of my work on that show had fallen over entirely. During the course of my time on the show, I had slowly been gaining self-confidence in myself. I had been getting depressed less and less. I traveled to conventions for the sake of meeting up with the rest of the crew, stuff that I never would have ever thought about doing ever. And I felt like they went well, and I felt like I was really improving, and I was getting better, and things were improving in my life. I thought I was doing really well. I had these very, in retrospect, hilariously outlandish thoughts that, like, at some point maybe I would be able to actually write episodes of the show at some point, but that was never going to happen. They did several tests on that sort of thing, and my work was always, like, the least good, so that was never going to happen. Yeah, so when I got told that I was let go, I laid down and I cried, and I fell into the biggest depressive episode of my entire life. If you were there, then you'll also know that was the time when I basically uploaded almost nothing for months on end. Sometimes I would put up some stuff, but my output was absolutely abysmal because I didn't want to do anything, because I didn't think I could do anything. I thought that I had literally nothing of value at all to provide anybody. And I contemplated. I'm going to admit this. I contemplated just ending my channel. I was so shaken, and my self-worth was so utterly shattered that I just didn't care anymore. You don't need to worry about the gravest possible outcomes of depression. That was never a factor, but I just wanted to lay down in bed and be a pile, do nothing, just lay there forever. Whatever happened, happened. I didn't care anymore. Every now and then I had some bright spots, but, you know, it usually pretty quickly spiraled back down. Absolutely no confidence in myself. No, I thought, what does it matter? Why should I make more stuff? Who cares? The stuff I make is crap. Obviously, right? If I just stopped uploading entirely, would anybody even notice? Would I just fade away? Maybe some people would occasionally remember me, but, like, they wouldn't be upset about it. Surely not. No one would care. It's like, oh yeah, that guy. Huh, wonder where he went. Oh well, moving on. For the longest time, I didn't even tell people that I was let go. I had to tell my parents because, you know, when you have been making such great strides in your battle against depression, and you've been generally a happier person in general, and then all of a sudden it immediately not only completely backslides into a position of not only where you were before, but becomes worse than you ever were at any point. They ask questions and they'd like to know things. So obviously I had to tell them, but I didn't tell my closest friends or anybody that I was let go until I literally had no choice, because the last things I worked on went up, and I was like, well, I can't lie to people. I'm not going to tell people I still work there. That would be stupid. I'm not doing that. So then I did. Now that's all important context for the actual question that was asked. What happened to Let's Watch Death Battle? Well, when I finally did announce that I was no longer working on the channel, I was immediately asked, oh, so you can bring your reactions back, right? Because that was the whole reason you stopped, is because you started working for them. So obviously you can just bring them back now. You don't know what's going to happen in the episode, so you can react to them now. And I'm not stupid. I'm aware that the reactions to Death Battle are by far the single most popular content I make. To this day, old reaction videos from 2015 get more views per month than entire Let's Plays that I make today. I know that tons of people like them and wanted to see more of them. So I didn't want to. Thinking about the show at all made me sad. But the fact remains, I didn't feel like that should matter. Oh, you lost your job. So what? Big whoop. Millions of people lose their jobs all the damn time. Why are you so depressed about it? Get over it. Just move on. Whatever. Make the stuff people want. Like, people don't care about your other stuff, so why you bother with that? Just make the damn reaction videos. That's all anybody cares about. So, I faked it. I didn't fake my reactions. No. Those were still legitimate, but I faked a lot of my enthusiasm. And you'll notice episodes that I just didn't do. I skipped a bunch. Sometimes it was because, I didn't really care about the episode. Or sometimes when I was watching the episode, my facade broke during recording. And I got sad. I got so bummed out that I ruined the take. And because they're reactions, I can't do them again. So those episodes just didn't go up. And eventually, I just couldn't do it anymore, guys. I can't do that. I can't do that to myself. I am not going to make myself sad like that. I can't. I finally told one of my my best friends, Nightstar. Hopefully he's okay with me saying that. I told him about all of this, about my feelings, because he was one of the people who wanted the reaction videos back. Fully justifiably. Understandable. I don't want a single one of you to think that you are in the wrong. Okay? None of you have done anything wrong at all. You just wanted content that you liked back, and I had the means to provide it, and you asked for it. That's perfectly reasonable. This is all on me. This is my fault. It's nothing to do with you guys. You did nothing wrong. He was one of the people that wanted them back. But eventually he was like, why aren't you putting anything up? And eventually, I made excuses. I made excuses about why I wasn't doing them. I didn't care about that one, or something or the other effect, blah, 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 blah. Eventually, it just became too accumulative, too obvious. And he eventually just started asking, he was like, why do you... It seems like you're trying to avoid the show at this point. And I broke down. And I cried again. And I had a long conversation with him about everything that I just said. And he was personally floored by it. He had no idea that I felt the way that I did. And, well, that was the point. I was hiding it. I didn't want people to know why I felt the way that I did. because I think the way that I feel is stupid. The fact that this is still bothering me, it's been years. Everybody on the team that I worked with, I'm ancient history to them. They probably moved on and forgot about me the second that I was gone. Move on. That's what I'm telling myself. I still tell myself that. I have no right. I have no business. Why am I being so whiny about this? Why am I letting it do this happen? But he has gone to great pains to try and convince me that my feelings are still valid and that I shouldn't be forcing myself to do something that causes me active despair. And making the reaction videos did that. Because Death Battle, it started as just a cool show I found one day. Then it became my world. It became the thing that I thought of and went to remind myself that I had value. And then within a day, it became a living testament to how much of a failure I am. I had plenty of time to get better at the things that I was bad at. I tried. Oh, believe you me. Believe you me, I tried to improve. I really did. But, I'm just not good at that stuff. So now when I see the show, I mostly just say, hey, there's like this specter next to me. And it says, hey, remember when you used to work on that show? Remember when you used to be cool? Remember when you used to do stuff that mattered? Shame you suck so much. It's a shame you ruined everything. You could still be there. You could have been writing episodes. You could have been still researching it. You could have still been involved in all this really cool stuff that's going on. Shame you suck. Shame you threw it all away because of your incompetence. So, yeah. It's reached the point where I watched all of Season 9, and I keep hearing that it's like one of the best seasons the show's ever had, and I don't see it. And I don't know if that's because I don't know if that's because the episodes are actually substandard, or if because my rose-tinted glasses fell off my face and landed in a blender. And I find that incredibly petty and stupid of me, and I hate that. I hate that I think this way. I don't want to think this way. I just want to watch the show. And I still do, and I still will. I want to make this very clear. This is honestly, probably the most important part of this whole thing. Don't get mad at the show or any of the people working on the show. They did everything right. Straight up. I was a weak link and they got rid of it because I was a liability. That's not a crime. There's no drama here. They didn't do anything wrong. It's all on me. So don't let the sob story of an emotionally compromised man affect your enjoyment of the show. Don't do that. Absolutely do not. Continue to support the show. If you love it, keep watching it. I'm going to keep watching it because I still do like the show. I do. Some episodes I still really enjoyed. I guess maybe I just might be more hypercritical of it now. I don't know. But that's really all there is to it. What happened to Let's Watch Death Battles? Making them stopped being fun. And I just want to move on. I'm sorry. I really am. I wish I was a stronger person, that I could just shrug that all off like it meant nothing. But I can't. I'll keep watching, and you should too. But barring some extraordinary circumstances, don't expect another reaction video. Please. You might be thinking, hey, Max, wasn't that all really kind of heavy? Isn't this supposed to be a big celebration of your channel and everything? Why shouldn't this have been like its own independent video? You know, didn't you just kind of bring the mood down? And you'd be right, but I had a reason for this. I never actually planned on telling anybody any of that. I was pretty content with just never bringing it up ever again, and eventually people would just kind of stop asking. But I wanted to bring it up here, because I want to tell you guys just how much you all matter to me. When I considered giving up my channel entirely, I still had people, again, including my friend Nightstar, and so many others, I still had people saying, hey, when's the next thing coming out? For months. Every time I thought I was finally like about to just stop, I was asked again, when are you going to make another video? A Let's Play, specifically. When are you going to make another Let's Play? And it took a while, but eventually it hit. There are people who like my Let's Plays. They're worth making. They make people happy. My content isn't worthless. I am not worthless. I can't be. Every day I get at least one comment telling me that they liked the video. Whatever it is I'm playing. Not everybody watches everything, and not everybody watches everything all the way through. Sometimes they skim through them, but that doesn't matter. They still watched any of it. They still liked it. They wanted to see what I thought, or just wanted something in the background. Whatever reason you watch my videos makes no difference to me, but you do. I've been doing on for about, I'm not sure how much is getting cut out by the end of this, but I've been recording for 1 hour and 48 minutes, and if you've watched all of this, oh damn. I wanted to put this in my 11-year celebration video because y'all saved the channel and me. I was so close to giving up, but you all convinced me that I shouldn't, and I cannot thank you all enough for that. Since my full-time return to Let's Playing, which I believe was, I want to say it was with Danganronpa 2? No. It was Trials and Tribulations. Right. It was for my my 100th. Ever since then, I have uploaded a single Let's Play video every single day for about 2.5 years now. And I don't regret any of it. It's a lot of work. I get tired, and I probably overwork myself sometimes, but I'm more than happy to do it. I'm happy to make the content that I'm making. I am currently in a better place than I've been in a very, very long time. And I have all of you to thank for that. And the games I play. You pulled me out of the biggest depressive episode of my entire life. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, we do have a few more questions asked, though. And I didn't want to leave that on such a somber note. I want to leave things on a more silly situation. So, the last subsect of questions are just questions about me. Some of these are very, very silly. So let's just go through them. What characters would you commission crossover art that would hang on your wall? Dear God, I would absolutely love a truly professional art piece of Weiss, Shantae, Naoto, Akane, and Noir all together. What they would be doing, it's not really all that matters. I just want them to, just a badass shot of the 5 of them. I would love that. I'd hang that on my wall. I would have that framed if I could find a really good artist and could afford to commission it. God, I would. So badly. Can you beat Goku? I get winded going to the fridge. No, I can't beat Goku. How was your day? It's honestly been going pretty good. I actually gotten a lot of work done today, including this. So, and I've been worried about how this whole thing would come out. So, I think it's coming out all right. Yeah. Probably gonna get some food after this. If you could go back in time and tell your past self one thing, what would it be? No matter how bad you think you are at anything, just keep doing it. Don't stop doing something you enjoy doing just because you think you're inadequate. So what? Maybe you do suck. Who cares? You're having fun. Do it anyway. That's what I'd tell my past self. Easily. What made you decide to go vegan/vegetarian? They don't really know which one I am. I was born in a family of vegetarians. When there's literally no meat in a household, you tend to not eat meat. And I don't leave the house, so I don't go to fast food places, which is pretty much the place you go to get meat. So, yeah. Also, I gained a deep personal fondness for alive animals, and I've reached a point where I absolutely could not go back on that. I would just think about all of the animal friends that I've had over the course of my life. So, that being said, I don't care if you do. Feel free. Eat as much meat as you want. Live your best life. Just don't expect me to. That's all. What's your favorite type of music? I listen to a little bit of literally everything. I mostly listen to video game soundtracks and Weird Al. I have his entire discography. Otherwise, I have, like, bits and pieces of other musical artists just kind of all over the place. Like, I have Little Eva's The Locomotion, Cher's Believe, Dragon Force's Through the Fire and the Flames, Don't Stop Me Now from Queen. I have literally the entire Pokemon jukebox. Double Trouble. I have some Hololive music. I have everything under the sun, basically. If it sounds good, I listen to it. Simple as that. Crunchy or creamy peanut butter? I prefer crunchy. I need texture. Because if everything is too soft, it feels like I'm eating mush. So I need some of that crunch to manage to balance the whole thing out. What got you interested in making content? Well, I mean, specifically YouTube comment, that would be Chugga Conroy and Proton John. They're the ones that inspired me to make Let's Play videos. Jesse Cox came in and helped out on that regard, too. That's primarily why I make the specific things that I make. It's like, oh, there's an audience for people watching people play video games they like. I could probably do that. I'll try. And then I did it for 11 years. Have you ever considered living somewhere else? Yeah, sure, I've considered it, but I don't have the option. I live with my parents. I don't have the financial stability to be self-sufficient. I can't move anywhere unless they also want to move there. So yeah, I thought about it, but I can't do anything about it. I need to make a whole. This channel would have to get a whole lot more successful for that sort of thing to be able to be possible. But I'm cool. I'm fine where I am. What's one thing you're happy you grew up with? All the video games I had. Cornball as it is, I'm glad I had the games I did because they're what the games I played and the shows I watched are what made me who I am. As a complete and total social recluse and like socially inept weirdo, I absorbed content, and that's what made me who I am and where I got my life lessons and stuff along with what my parents taught me. So yeah, that's why I'm glad. I like who I am. I don't think I'm good at anything, but I like who I am. I don't want to be anyone other than me. What do you like to do when you're not recording or drawing? Sleep, and I don't do a lot of that. Other than that, I guess I watch YouTube videos. I watch YouTube videos, I sleep, I eat, I record, and I draw. That is all that I do in my life. I also chat with my friends a lot, and we watch like anime and stuff together. So, you know, I got that going. Like, that's been a relatively new-ish entry into my life, and I've been enjoying it. How are the animals? Hope they're good. They're doing great. Yeah. It's been a long time since I showed you all of them, but they're all still kicking and loving life. They've got it really good here. I don't know how else to put it into words, but you seem to have a sliding scale of prudishness. Explain as best you can as to why. Interesting. But there's a reason. Okay, so earlier in my career, literally anything of a vaguely sexual nature would make me unspeakably uncomfortable and unable to say things. Even words like boyfriend or girlfriend would lock me up entirely. And you might notice that over time, that seems to have stopped happening as much. That's because I've been deliberately training myself to be less uncomfortable with things like that. The me of 2015 would never have been able to play Katawa Shoujo or Hyperdimension Neptunia. I would have exploded and died. Are you kidding me? No, I've been slowly inchworming my way into being more comfortable with sexual topics. It's always been something that I had a lot of trouble with and struggled with for the bulk of my life, but I've been trying as hard as I can to get better at it. And that's why there seems to be a slider scale, because I've just been improving. And I'm pretty happy and pretty proud of that, honestly. Who is your fictional crush? What the hell do you think all of this is? Are you new here? Come on now. If you want additional ones, I already named names. Shantae, Akane Owari, Naoto Shirogane, and Noir. I've got others too, but I'm giving you those. That's a silly question. Kiss your Weiss plushie on screen during the AMA, please. That's not a question. And it's a little bit weird that you would ask somebody to do that, if I'm being honest. I'll go ask. Yeah, hey, they're asking me to apparently kiss you on screen. I did say that that's not a question. I did say that that was a little weird too. Yeah. I didn't really plan on it, so I don't know if I would really call it peer pressure, but yeah, no, I just figured I'd get your thoughts on it. Yeah, no, I don't have anything I need to prove. Yeah, love you too. Anyway, that is that, ladies and gentlemen. Whew, for your watching pleasure. Hopefully I was able to give you an adequate answer to literally every single question that was asked of me. Whew, 11 years. Whole lot of memories, whole lot of shenanigans. And you know what? Goddamn, I hope to be doing it for 11 more. Simple as that. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. If you actually watch all of this, you are a goddamn champion. And I'll see you all next time. Later.